In 5, 4, 3, 2, lights, camera. Give us that amazing claps. Good morning, grade 8 learners. Welcome to the English class. It is a pleasure to see the screen flooded with comments of our very eager learners from different schools. We know that you are used to waking up early and preparing your gadgets for this online learning. So, grab your pen, module, and notebook because you will be needing them as we go with our discussion. Don't forget to check your gadget's battery and load. And before we proceed, let us first check the attendance. Key in or type hashtag the acronym of your school dash section, just like what you see on the screen. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy learning. For today's session, we will be focusing on this most essential learning competence. Use a range of verbs, adjectives, and adverbs to convey emotional response or reaction to use an issue to persuade. While these are our specific objective, use parallel structure. We will use the alternative delivery mode module about exploring the use of verbs in conveying emotional response or reaction to an issue, prepared by Ma'am Ludy Dizon, a master teacher from Dalandana National High School. We will be dealing with verbs and parallelism as features in a persuasion test. We will take you for today's learning journey using the different parts of your module. Let us check what you already know about the lesson that we are going to discuss. Read and examine each sentence. Look at the underlined word and identify each part of speech from the given choices. We will be giving you 5 seconds to think about your answer for each number. Are you ready? Let's start! Number 1. Manila hires job stores to make 1 million masks. Hires is the underlying word. A. Adjective. B. Adverb. C. Verb. And D. Noun. Vice President Leni Robredo's Angat Buhay Relief Operations gave free haircut services to the frontliners of National Kidney and Transplant Institute. Vice President Leni Robredo's is the underlined word. A. Verb. B. Adjective. C. Noun. D. Verb. Number 3. A teacher affects eternity. We can never tell where his influence stops, according to Henry B. Adams. Affects is the underlying word. A. Adverb. B. Adjective. C. Verb. And D. Noun. Filipina International Contest winner inspires through poetry amid COVID crisis. Filipina is the underlined word. A. Verb. B. Adverb. C. Adjective. D. Noun. Number 5. Wearing school uniforms is not required during online classes. Uniform is the underlined word. A. Noun. B. Adjective. C. Verb. And D. Adverb. Read the text carefully and look for verbs. We will be giving you 20 seconds for this part. Laughter is one of the greatest healing devices known to man. Laughter is powerful and can help people in many different ways. It has the power to cure something as little as that day or to heal the wounds of a terminally ill person. Laughing has helped create the smile, which is the universal sign of well-being. Generally, individuals who do not laugh live miserable and have unhappy lives. Dr. Robert Colvin found that smiling and laughing releases endorphins in the brain, which give people an overall happy well-being. Using comedy, many doctors have stimulated the healing process in the manic depressants and fatality ill patients, giving them hope and ambition.
In many clinics, laughter is being used in replacing antidepressants and reduces the need for painkillers. Take comedians, for example. They usually live long and happy lives. Putting a smile on faces and laughs in souls is what makes life complete. Laughter helps heal people and brightens spirits for a better and healthier life. Laughing is a sign of joy and hope and keeps people normal and the world happy. Using the techniques of laughter and happiness is the best medicine known to man. Laughter is the universal sign of well-being and happiness within health. Laughing brightens the spirit and heals the mind and body of people who allow it to overcome them. So, try a smile and laugh on for size and live a longer, happier life with loved ones.
All right. All right. Let's check your answers. For the first activity, we have number 1, letter C. Number 2, letter C. Number 3, letter C. Number 4, letter C. Number 5, it's letter A. For the second activity, we have, found out, releases, gives, stimulated, being, used activity. We have is, can, help, helps, helped, has, cure, heal, create, laugh, do not, leave, produces, take, makes, brightens, keeps, heals, allow overcome, and try.
Did you get them all correct? Very good. That means you still remember what parts of the speech are, specifically verbs. If not, it means you need to listen very well to understand them better.
Exactly. Now, let us go back and examine the text presented in your previous activity. Do you have any idea about what kind of text is this? Right. It is a persuasive text. What is persuasive text?
Persuasive text is a selection or passage where the main purpose is to present a point of view and seeks to persuade a reader. It can be an argument, exposition, discussion, review, or even an advertisement.
What about the underlined words? What are these? You are correct based on your answers in the previous activity. They are called verbs.
What are verbs? Why do we need verbs in this text?
Verbs play a vital role in writing a persuasive text or even other text. They express action or state of being.
All right, let us learn about the main types of verbs. There are 3 types of verbs: action verbs, linking verbs, and helping verbs. Action verbs are words that express action: give, eat, walk, or possession, have, own. They can either be transitive or intransitive. When we say transitive verb, it always has a noun or noun phrase that precedes the action of the verb called direct object. For example, laughing brightens our spirit. The word brightens is the transitive verb and our spirit is the object receiving the verb's action. The direct object answers the question, what does laughing brighten? Transitive verb sometimes has indirect object. The indirect object of a sentence is the main recipient of the direct object, just like this example. Endorphins in the brain give people an overall happy well-being. The verb is give. Direct object is overall well-being. It answers the question, what do endorphins in the brain give? The indirect object is people, who are the recipients of the direct object, overall happy well-being.
An intransitive verb never has a direct or indirect object. Although it may be followed by an adverb or adverbial phrase, there is no object to receive its action. Look at this example. Norman slowly rises from his seat. The verb is rises, but there is no object to receive the action.
Another type of verb is the linking verb. Linking verbs connect the subject of a sentence to a noun or adjective that renames or describes the subject. The noun or adjective is called the subject complement. Take a look at this example. Laughter is powerful. The linking verb is links the subject laughter to the subject complement, which is powerful. The most common linking verbs are the verbs to be, like am, is, are, was, were. There are other linking verbs that can be used in a sentence, such as see, taste, sound, smell, etc.
Now, let's have the next type of verbs. We call it helping verbs. Helping verbs are used before action or linking verbs to convey additional information regarding aspects of possibility, like can and could, or time, like was, did, has, and the others. The main verb its accompanying helping verb is called a verb phrase. Look at this example. Laughing has helped create the smile, which is the universal sign of well-being. In here, the word has is the helping verb and helped is the main verb. Some models can also function as helping verbs.
Now, let us see if we understood the first part of our discussion. Type or key in your answers in the comment box. You have 5 seconds to answer each question.
Number 1. Eileen solved the problem easily. The underlined word is A, on, land. A, action verb. B, linking verb. C, helping verb. intransitive verb.
Diane can join the virtual dance competition. The underlined word is a slash and blank. A, action verb. B, linking verb. C, helping verb. D, intransitive verb.
Number 3. Valenzuela City suspended business permit of index operator. What is the direct object in the sentence? A. Valenzuela City. B. Suspended. C. Business permit. D. Index.
Number 4. Regine baked Joyce a plate full of cookies. What is the indirect object in this sentence? A. I eat. B. Baked. C. Joyce. D. A plate full of cookies.
Number 5. Laughter blank, the universal sign of well-being and happiness within health. Which among the following verbs will complete this sentence? A. Makes. B. Helps. C. Is. D. Has.
Let us check your answers. For number 1, the underlined word is an A, action verb. For number 2, the underlined word is a C, helping verb. For number 3, the direct object is C, business permit. For number 4, the indirect object is C, which is Joyce. And for number 5, the answer is C, which is.
Moving on to the simple tenses of verbs. The simple tenses of verbs are present tense, past tense, and future tense. Simple present tense is used to describe a current activity or state of being. The verb is usually in its base form or sometimes ends in S. For example, he answers his assignment. Simple present tense is also used to show a habitual or routine action. Check this out. He always reads a book. In this sentence, the adverb always shows that the subject he does an action habitually. Simple present tense is used to show a known fact or something we all know is true. The moon moves around the earth. It is a known fact that the moon moves around the earth.
Next is the past tense. Simple past tense shows an action which happened earlier or in the past. For example, we enjoyed fishing yesterday. This shows action in the past form, and you can see that the verb enjoy ends in ed. This is because it is a regular verb. Regular verbs form their past tense by adding d or ed. Let us have another example. I swam at the pool last week. Here, the verb is swam, which is the past tense of swim. It is an irregular verb. Irregular verbs form their past tense by changing their spelling. But there are also irregular verbs that remain the same even when changed to past form.
The last one is the future tense. Simple future tense shows an action which will take place at some point in the future. The verb always preceded by the auxiliary verb will or shall. For example, Cass will open her gifts tomorrow. In this sentence, the verb open is preceded by will, which indicates that the action will take place in the future.
To check if you understood the lesson about simple tenses, bring out your handy-dandy notebook and pen. Let us answer these questions. You have 5 seconds to answer each question. Write the correct form of the verb in the parentheses. Number 1. They blank forget to bring their modules when they went to school.
Number 2. Mary Rose blank enjoyed watching K-drama every day.
We blank celebrate his birthday next week.
Time is up. Let us check your answers. Number 1, forgot. Number 2, enjoys. Number 3, will celebrate. Did you get all the correct answers? Very good.
Are you still with us? Okay, I know most of you encounter difficulties in constructing sentences, especially in subject-verb agreement. Take a look at the sentence. Mother sells fruits and vegetables in the market. Who does the action? If your answer is mother, you are correct. Remember that the subject is a part of a sentence that contains the person or thing performing the action. Now, what does the mother do? If your answer is sells fruits and vegetables in the market, you got it right. In this part of the sentence, the word sells is the verb. A verb is a word that describes an action or state of being.
Now that you know how to identify the subject and the verb in sentence, let us find out some rules in subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement is when the subject and the verb in a sentence agree in number. The term number indicates whether a noun is singular or plural. It is also applied to verbs. Singular indicates one. Plural indicates more than.
Let us now find out the rules in subject-verb agreement. Rule number 1. Singular subject takes singular verbs. The S form of the verb is used with singular subject and with pronouns he, she, and it in the present tense. Look at this example. She adjusts her schedule in order to meet the deadlines. The subject here is he, which is singular and a pronoun. And the verb is adjust, which ends with S and a singular verb.
Let us move on to the next rule. Rule number 2. Plural subject takes plural verb without S in the present form. Pronouns like we and they use plural verb. The pronoun you and I are an exception to the rule. Even though they are singular, they always take a plural verb. Look at this example. I baked a cake for my sister. Here, you cannot say, I baked a cake for my sister. Since I is an exemption to the rule, we need a verb without S. Do you get it? Great! Now, let us have an example that adheres to the rule number 2. We use distance learning modality because of pandemic. In this sentence, the subject is we, which is a plural pronoun and takes the plural form of the verb use. which is obviously doesn't end in S.
Let's get on to rule number 3. And it states that compound subjects with 2 or more nouns connected by N use plural verbs. Both men and women enjoy the party by the beach. In this sentence, men and women are joined by N, which makes it plural, and our verb is enjoy, which is also plural.
Moving on to the rule number 4. It states that when subjects are joined by or, nor, neither, or neither nor, the verb agrees with the nearest subject. Let us examine this example. Neither Ramon nor his siblings play basketball. The verb play here is plural because it agrees with the subject closer to each, which is siblings.
Let me give you rule number 5, and it says, a noun plural in form but singular in meaning requires a singular verb. Examples: economics, mops, news, gymnastics, statistics, politics, measles, mathematics, mechanics, whereabouts. Look at this example. Statistics show the diminishing number of people affected by the virus. The subject here is statistics, which is plural in form but singular in meaning. So, we need singular verb, which is shows. Remember, not all words that end in S are plural. Some are considered singular, like the ones we have here.
Let us check your understanding about rules in subject-verb agreement. Bring out your handy-dandy notebook and pen and let's figure out the correct answers for each number. You have 5 seconds for each item.
Number 1. The students are waiting for their teacher.
Number 2. Mathematics are an interesting subject.
Number 3. Leah and her husband lives in Valenzuela.
Number 4. Either Janine or Matt have to be there tonight.
Number 5. We do not know the answer.
Time's up. Let's check your answers. Number 1, are. Is. Number 3, live. Number 4, has. Number 5, do. Did you get them all correct? Great job!
Aside from these rules in subject-verb agreement, we must not forget about parallelism because it creates a sense of balance in your sentences. Parallel words like noun, adjective, or verb must be of the same pattern and level of importance. Check this out. They sang and danced for hours. In this example, the highlighted words show a series of verbs of equal pattern and level of importance. They are all of the same tense, which is past tense. Let's have another one. Laughing brightens the spirit and heals the mind and body of people. Look closely at the underlined words. They are verbs of the same tense, right? That makes the sentence parallel.
To sum up what we have discussed today, we learned that verb shows action or state of being. It has three simple tenses, which are simple past, future, and present. Subject-verb agreement is when the subject and the verb is in a sentence agree in number. Parallelism, also known as parallel structure, is when words, phrases, and clauses in a sentence have similar or same grammatical structure.
Let us check your understanding of parallelism. Bring out again your handy-dandy notebook and pen, and let's figure out the correct answer for each number. You have 5 seconds to answer its item. Tell whether the sentence is parallel or not. Write P for parallel and NP for not parallel.
Number 1. Her chores include wiping the furniture, sweeping the floor, and watering the garden.
Number 2. We went to bike, fishing, and swimming last Saturday.
Number 3. She helped us bake the cake, gathering the kids for games, and cleaned up the venue.
Number 4. The teacher walked outside and looked for her colleagues.
Number 5. I love reading and writing.
Your time is up. Let us check your answers. Number 1 is P. Number 2, NP. Number 3, NP. Number 4, P. And number 5, P. Did you get all the correct answers? Good job. If not, it is all right. I know that you can do better in the next activity. And remember, there is always a room for improvement.
I know that you have some questions in mind during the discussion. Feel free to type in or key in your questions in the comment box. We're giving you 1 minute to do that. Your time starts now.
Time's up. Let me read the first question handed by our moderator. Thank you, ma'am. The first question is from Arcong Bato National High School. The question is, why do we use plural verb and pronouns like you and I when they are singular in the first place? Excellent question. Remember this class, in every rule, there are always exceptions. You and I pronouns belong to these exceptions. Even though they are singular, they should take plural verb. It is wrong to say, and it sounds unpleasant, when you tell someone, I love you. He or she might answer, forget it. So, you must say it this way.
Vicente P. Trinidad National High School. How do we persuade someone to agree with our opinions? Brilliant questions. Just make sure to use appropriate, powerful, and highly convincing words to create a strong standpoint in an issue. This will drive your readers to agree with you, just like this example.
Mother, can I go to the grocery later? I need to buy some ingredients for my daily activity.
I'm sorry, Anna. Girls like you are not allowed to go out according to Valenzuela City Ordinance number 745, series of 2020.
But I can manage to go out alone just like before.
You are only 13 years old. You cannot acquire vile trace code, which will be asked from you when you enter the grocery store.
Oh no! So how can I have the ingredients, Mother?
Don't worry. I will be the one to buy them for you.
In this dialogue, it clearly shows that the highlighted words are the reasons why the child is not allowed to go out.
We're down to the last question from Justice Eleazar de los Santos National High School. The question is, how do we check parallelism in writing? What a great question! Let me give you this trick in checking parallelism in writing. You need to make sure that you are using paired words such as nouns, verbs, and adjectives, phrases, clauses, infinitives, and so on. Look carefully at the elements in a sentence and check if you are using the same grammatical structure. You have to bear in mind not to confuse your readers and listeners.
We know there are still more questions left unanswered. Don't you worry, because your subject teacher will be the one to answer those questions during your follow-up discussion.
This time, let us give you the direction that you need to do in your module. Under What's More activity, you are going to read the given sentences. Then choose the correct form of the verb in the parentheses. And finally, write the word in your answer sheet.
Under What I Can Do activity, you are going to write short dialogue on how you will persuade the customer to buy a thermal scanner. Use variety of verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Observe also parallelism in your dialogue.
For the assessment part 1, subject-verb agreement. Read each sentence carefully. Supply the correct form of the verb fitted to the sentences given by choosing your answer from the given choices. For part 2, you need to read the given sentences. Write only the parallel word that you can find in your answer sheet.
All right, we hope that everything is clear. Apparently, no one knows when this pandemic will end, but we are sure it's getting near. So while we are waiting for its end, education must not freeze. We need to support the effort of the city government of Valenzuela and Decade Valenzuela's battle cry,
Anuman ang sitwasyon, tuloy ang edukasyon. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day. See you again!